Hey, check it out. Bees Part 3. It could. I'm gonna take a guess. Why. Let me turn this around so I can show you these bees in the daytime. Let's see. Turn on. Here we go. You know, you see how nice they are to each other? You see how they're cleaning each other off? When they get honey on, the other one cleans off the honey. That's a nice bee. That's very friendly. Yes. And I believe that these bees here are the ones that don't have their stinkers. Like they're not meant to defend the nest. Let's see if I can capture some of these beautiful luminescent. Let me clean my lens. Apparently my lens is always dirty. Hang on a second, family. Sorry about that. Is that any better? Can you see those luminescent colors in their wings? Yes. Oh, sorry. I'm looking at them. I'm looking at them, not the camera, family. Sorry about that. Let's see if I can. If you can see those luminescent colors or not. Anyway, it's my theory that these little dudes here are the ones that go out and collect the nectar so that they can make the honey. And they work all day and then they come home and get to partake. But just all the way up until when the flowers stop blooming, when the weather starts getting cold. Whoop. And then they're considered superfluous, I don't want to say useless eaters. It's just nature, the way she works. It's like, hey, there's only this much honey and only this many bees, and these guys are nearing the end of their purpose in their lifetime, so they die off. And I guess they decided to come to my house, teach me about death. And why y'all gotta be flying on my hands? Like literally when I'm on the laptop, which I am on quite a lot, unfortunately. And they'll just come and start flying all over my hands so that I can't type. Florcito did that to me one day too. If you want to check out the Florcito video. But anyhow, this is the bees. And their last days, I'm just giving them a little sweetness in their last days. Thank you, bees. I love you. We would have nothing without you. All the beautiful things you pollinate for us to eat. Most of the fruits and vegetables and nuts as well. Not to mention all the flowers that you probably help propagate and all the beautiful colors. Can you see his little red tongue? I don't know. Preciosos. He's actually got a red tongue, yo. Let's see if I can zoom in. Can you see? He's got a red tongue. He's like, don't take a video of me. I'm kidding. Yeah, they probably don't like the vibe of this phone. Sure they don't. Well, they don't like that vibe of that phone. Because they're so subtle. You know, the bees. Their vibe, their frequency. That, you know, when we introduce the, you know, I don't even know what to call it. Weaponized frequency grid, that's what I'll call it. Because that's what it is. Here, I have a new... Watch, but I gotta look up now. It's all my fancy production studio stuff here. Well, I just wanted to say about the bees. Whew. When we see the bees die off, it's something to call our attention to. Now, it's my theory that regards to these guys, that's just a natural part of this cycle of life, that there's no more flowers for them to go out and collect the pollen for, so now they're kind of pushed out of the hive. And for whatever reason, they knew to come to my house, because I'd be like, oh, I'll feed you like I feed the iguanas and catch flies for Florcito, and yeah, just, I love. But now, to always pay attention to when stuff like this happens, because is it a natural phenomena, or is it some unnatural phenomena? Like if we know the bees die off in, say, when the weather starts getting cooler, as opposed to dying off in the middle of spring and summer when all the things are blooming. You know, when we see large quantities of the bees populations dying off, that is a huge red alert for alarm fire. So just want to throw that out there. I hope this now I'm gonna try not to be sarcastic. Hang on. I see that the world wants more and more of this AI interface, right? It appears that way. And the footprint that this inferior artificial intelligence system of communication, the footprint that it leaves behind, and ye shall know the nature of the tree by the fruit that it bears. And if it leaves in its wake a huge environmental impact to establish all the towers and transmitters and receivers and satellites and, you know, all those things that they drill into Mother Earth to get all those materials, right? That's how you know it's a stupid idea. That's how you know it's not a good business idea. That's how you know it's not a good model for your business. If it's destructive to the earth, it's not a good business model at all. I don't have no problem with it. I'm not one of these anti-capitalists. We've never had capitalism. As far as I'm aware, we've never really truly experienced full-on capitalism, like market competition. There's always been the Fortune 500, now Fortune 100. There has always been the too big to fail banks. There has always been every other facet of the Marxist manifesto embedded into every other facet of our society. So we've never experienced capitalism. Capitalism just means that whoever makes the best product and delivers it at the best price gets the market share. But meaning to say that that person gets the market share at the best price, the best quality and everything through his own hard work. Not because he's receiving government subsidies. The guy's out there moving and shifting and shaking because of his own inner, right? Because he's that good at what he does, right? Or she, whatever. And their heart is in it. And That's what's the difference, right? Between having to go to work and having a job, like that, and doing something that you like to do. Like, let's say you're a scientist and you like to do research and development, or you like to go in the lab or go out into the field and conduct your own proof of concept tests and things like that. Or, whatever, fill in the blank. Whatever, is contributing something. Have a purpose. And follow it, and always check in with your inner child, the heart of your inner child, to say, is this, because you can always change at any time. You can always change your perception at any time. Your belief system at any time can change. And based on what we believe, then that is what we perceive. And what we perceive to be true is a direct reflection of our own the reality that we experience. So I want to just say, on behalf of the bees, the worker bees, and all of us that we can just ask the question, is there another way? Look at something that's destructive and environmentally hazardous and deleterious to our fellow earthlings, such as the bees and the birds and all of our family, four-legged, winged, whatever, whether they live in the ocean or not. We're all here together. We're a part of the same cycle, the same circle of life, right? So if we find an industry, let's say, let's just say, hypothetically, if we find an industry that's polluting and toxic and environmentally destructive and stuff, just ask your higher self, because everything you need to know is already right here in your heart, in your child's sacred heart, your heart that says, thy will, great spirit, my will. I'm just here of a vessel, just here to execute a mission, right? And tap into that and find out what that child answers, and they'll say, yes, of course there's another way. There's always, because when you're a little child, everything's possible. You're not programmed to believe in what the school indoctrinated you into and stuff. So to just tap into that, right, that all possibility field, and once you make the way, once you just even open that door, then I promise you it'll show up, especially between now and the 17th of November. Yes, indeed. Between now and the 17th of November. Yeah. Is going to be like a heightened time for us to tap into the field and watch how really, quite literally, immediately, that we can manifest things. Because we'll be tapped into, the sacred emanation of Mother Earth and the grandmother spider who weaves the web of the human story in the universe, all the stars. But anyway, so many beautiful, beautiful stories that you can read about when you look into the anthropological history, not his story, but the real story of of the we'll call the native, I guess we could call Native Americans, but before that it was a different word. We had different names for the different tribes. We were all basically from Turtle Island, right? That was the big flat of land. If you're in in that part of the world, listen to the stories that are being told right now by the elders. Many of them are actually young people that have studied their whole life and dedicated themselves to basically giving you a synopsis of what time it is and what's really going on, as opposed to the dystopian nightmare and all the red alerts and distractions and acts of clowns on the stage and voting and church and all whatever TV shows. I don't know. Too much distraction, too much dissonant frequency. So here I'm saying this on the AI device. All right, I'm gonna finish posting it. I'm gonna finish recording this and promise to get it uploaded because I have heard from many people now, like, when are you gonna post something? We haven't seen anything since fill in the blank. So I'm gonna catch up, but we'll start with, instead of going in a chronological order, we'll just start with this one here on the bees. I reckon we'll put I think I already have a playlist called the bees. If I don't, it'll be in the playlist on bees, what the bees taught me, let's say. All right, family, until we speak again, I'll see you in the dream world. Ciao for now.